No, that's fine. Thank you, Mark. We'll move on. David, last story here. Nicola Sturgeon, and well, the trans issue continues to cause her problems.
The trans issue does, and it's all complicated. And I thought, how will I summarise this quickly? And I came across this wonderful video by a Scottish political commentator, Mercurius, and I thought I couldn't possibly do it better than just playing this little clip.
24 events occur in real time.
Scotland's First Minister's certainly under a lot of pressure.
A crisis is about to explode.
Slap bang in the middle of a huge row.
My comments about her, the person being a rapist.
Sent to Corntonvale Women's Prison.
This person was described in court as preying on vulnerable women.
The threat to women, they are not.
The question at hand is not whether this rapist should serve a sentence for rape. It's whether this individual is a man or a woman, and therefore which prison he or she goes into. So what is your answer? Is this individual a man or a woman?
The First Minister was asked this question today at First Minister's Question Time. She gave the response
Very
that she
confusing
didn't.
answer.
At the last count, the First Minister had refused 12 times to say if Isla Bryson is a man or a woman.
A man or a woman?
This individual is a rapist. That is the most important thing.
Do you regard Isla Bryson as a
She
woman?
regards herself as a woman.
I think you just referred to Isla Bryson using the word her.
I can't remember. I'll take your word for it. Well, fine. Look.
Slip.
My question is, are all trans women women? You haven't answered that question.
Well, that's not the point that we're dealing with yet.
The question I'm asking.
Trans women are...
This case clearly demonstrates, I think, that concerns raised by her opponents have a good deal of basis in reality.
There was a rally outside the Parliament saying that you're a destroyer of women's rights. I mean, have you listened enough to women who don't agree with you on the reform of the gender?
I've listened a lot.
You said that some of the opponents are transphobic, misogynistic, homophobic, maybe racist as well. Who are you talking about? Where have you seen these things? Where is this a fact?
Her popularity, along with the SNP's, has fallen.
Support for the SNP is at its lowest for 5 years.
We are running out of time.
Get out of there, Jack.
And that's what it's been like in Scotland. We've been introduced to the fact that there are now 3 genders in Scotland: man, woman, and rapist. And that what we have is a thing called Schrodinger's rapist. It could be a man, it could be a woman, but until Nicola Sturgeon actually examines the situation closely, which she's far too busy to do, we can't possibly know.
Okay, well, okay, so Schrodinger's, yeah, okay, very good. What else has been going on with it, though, with respect to green policies?
Well, I mean, we've had several things happening. We've had a disastrous plan to roll out a bottle return scheme that seems to be failing now as well. We've had announcements from the SNP that they're guaranteed to dual the A9, which is the main road to Inverness, with a very high death toll, because in part due to the nature of the road, it goes from dual carriageway to single carriageway, and you're never quite sure what you're on, and there's a lot of head-on collisions and fatalities on the road. That's now the promise to dual that by 2025 has now been confirmed as being missed. So there's a lot of things not going terribly well, but it's the women's rights and trans issue that's been playing particularly badly. We've seen 30,000 people leave the SNP in the last little while, and one of the areas to gain support from was the Muslim community, particularly in and around Glasgow. And here we see they've lost that as well. So we've got the Muslim Council withdraws support from Nicola Sturgeon's disastrous SNP and Green government. They say they're going down the wrong path. They joined the Indian Council for Scotland in abandoning the SNP Green government. This chair, Mr. Wasif Ahmad, said morale is an all-time low, claiming civil liberties have been taken away by social policies, with the latest gender reform bill seemingly being the final straw. We are at an all-time moral low, with the SNP Green Coalition government. Since Nicola Sturgeon has become First Minister, the economy has been a disaster in Scotland. Business confidence is also at an all-time low. So you see that this is a community that it was one of the communities that the SNP captured. So the SNP managed to get on board hugely disproportionately, and it was part of the alliance that they built up within Scotland. So there was the traditional SNP vote, there was the left wing and woke vote. They captured a great deal of that. There was the second generation Irish Catholic immigrant vote. They captured that from the Labour Party, who had previously held it. And there was the Muslim vote within Glasgow in particular. They captured that. So these elements of the vote, which took them in a divided country with four major parties all taking substantial amounts of the vote, this took them over the top in terms of winning seats. This coalition is starting to fracture now, and we see that the Muslims are looking at this and say, well, it's just a disaster. We don't want any part of this. So I think it is going really quite badly for her. No movements yet to get rid of her, but it can only be a matter of time.
Yes, okay, thank you. Well, look, we're absolutely out of time ourselves, so we're just going to end with this. This has been doing the rounds on Twitter, but also all the way through the mainstream press. Asteroid Sar2667, about 1 metre in diameter, was expected to fall near the French city of Le Havre at 02:59 UTC. I drove to a photogenic spot close to home in the south of the Netherlands, captured just as the sky cleared. I'm going to say it's all over the mainstream press. Clearly fake news. This is obviously a Chinese balloon. It's been shot down by the Europeans in some way, and so it's obviously fake news. But we'll talk more about that in a couple of minutes, along with a number of other topics. I want to say thank you to David and to Mark and to Bruce for joining us today. Stick around if you're a UK Column member on the members live stream for extra. Otherwise, we'll see you 1 p.m. as usual on Wednesday. Bye-bye.